From refugee to feminist, the Suncoast woman immigrated from Nazi Germany to the U.S. decades ago and has dedicated her life to fighting for women's rights. SNN's Marco Lamano says Sonia Pressman Fuentes is someone on the Suncoast you should know.
My life's work has been fighting to improve women's rights.
Right here on the Suncoast resides Sonia Pressman Fuentes, who, with her family, fled Nazi Germany and a couple decades later, co-founded the National Organization for Women. She almost didn't get that chance. You see, her life was saved multiple times. First, before she was born.
My mother had had 7 abortions before she became pregnant with me. Planned to have an abortion with me, but the doctor was out of the country, and my father said, let it be already.
The second time was shortly after Hitler came to power, when her family fled Germany to Belgium. Then, before Belgium could deport them, the family fled to the U.S.
I felt that my life had been saved for a purpose, and that there was something I needed to do in the world.
And that ultimate realization came in the 1960s. At that point, she worked for the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And she didn't feel the organization was achieving one of its goals of investigating employment discrimination based on gender. One day, a woman named Betty Friedan went to the EEOC with the goal of doing a story about the progress of women. But Betty saw Sonia, a woman, working at the EEOC.
So she came over to me and she said, "What's going on here? What are the problems? What are the conflicts?"
But Sonia thought if she told Betty the truth, she'd get fired. So she told her everything was fine.
And then 2 weeks later, she came back again. And she came at a time that my frustration was up to here with the fact that the EOC wasn't doing anything for women. And I said to her, what this country needs is an organization to fight for women like the NAACP fights for its constituents.
And so sprung NOW, the National Organization for Women, not of women, to convey that men were welcome as members and supporters. In the 1960s, the fight for equal rights was pretty difficult.
When I used to speak about women's rights, people used to laugh.
And some of those fights, equal pay for women, equal admission to colleges and universities.
We have created nothing less than a revolution.
But still, her fight is ongoing. So I asked her if there's any issue where she feels the fight is actually over.
I don't think there are people walking around in the United States today who don't know that women want equality. That wasn't the case in the mid-60s. People know that's an issue. It's a recognized issue. That we have accomplished. Everything else, we're still working.
And if she could change anything,
well, I would make myself 40 years old so I could keep doing it.
Sonia Pressman Fuentes, proud to call herself a feminist.
And one issue that Sonia still thinks needs to be addressed is the creation of paid parental leave for mother and father. Right, Marco? That's what she's
That's what
hoping.
she did, and I told her, I said, you know, that crosses gender lines, but to her, in her mind, that issue is unresolved because right now there's unpaid leave. It was under President Clinton where they had the Family Medical Leave Act where you could have unpaid leave, I think, up to 12 weeks.
Right.
And what she thinks is it should be paid leave up to a certain amount for both the mother and father. Obviously, it's not a complete endorsement of her views, but that's where her life's work has been. And I gotta say, it was very fascinating to talk to her.
Wonderful. Good piece.
Yeah. Thank you.